Hello there everybody and welcome back to Costume Quest 2. In the last video we made our way into Dr. White's compound and we have been thrown in jail, reunited with Lucy and Everett. Sort of, but not really. Fortunately, these Grubbins are none too smart and they did not confiscate any of our costumes, so let's go ahead and get the heck out of here. Use your pterodactyl costume and blow away the big trash pile in the corner of your cell. After you drop down, you'll want to switch to the wizard. And then we can just make our way through the vents. And if you want to, you can kind of stop here and just listen to the Grubbin and the Crest Whalers sort of talk to each other. They have no idea that we've gone, so it's nice that we can just sneak on out. There's a note here on the ladder, and it's from Corvus. I heard that you made it into Overlord White's compound. I managed to infiltrate to stash some costume pieces in his garden. Use this costume to help you defeat his laser gates. You'll find the pattern on the back side of this note. Now that I think about it, I should have just left the costume pieces down here with the note. Whoops. Godspeed, Corvus. Alright, so we are going to be making a ghost costume in this area. This fountain is the thing of nightmares. That is just absolutely terrifying. I actually didn't notice it before, but the water itself is coming out of like one of those picks that you get your teeth cleaned with. How did I only just notice that? Either way, that is some nightmare fuel right there. That is creepy. So first thing, when we exit, we can open this chest here on the right for a very easy first piece of our ghost costume. There's lots and lots of chests in this area. You can see this whole garden area has lots and lots of different alcoves. There's quite a few enemies patrolling around here, and this is an area with respawning enemies. So if you want to max out your level to 10, or you want to get some more creepy treat cards or do anything it is that you need to do, this is kind of the best place to do it. We are coming up close to the end of the game, so I would recommend kind of doing any wrap up that you need in this area. To the south of where we came out of the fountain is our fountain, our drinking fountain. We also have Shady here. And he also obviously has some goods for us, as always. So I'm gonna buy the maps of the Inner Sanctum and the security building. There are quite a few cards that I haven't purchased, but I'm also running pretty low on candy. So I'll probably have to do quite a bit of grinding to be able to purchase everything that Shady has in his store, which is something that is necessary if you're going for 100%. So this would be a good time to utilize those double candy reward type creepy treat cards in battle. Now there's also a child in this area who is looking for a Smoochies card. Now if I recall, we got our Smoochies card from the fight with Bojan the Principal, so we just need to find a double. And if we can bring this to the kid, he will give us a Tongue Ties card. Alright, so to the left of Shady, we can change back into our pterodactyl, clear out those leaves, and there is a child here hiding for our hide-and-go-seek game. 5 of them are in the outside area here. Actually, there's 4 of them in the outside area. There's 1 in a building that we have not yet gone to, and then there was 1 locked up in one of the cells that we were locked up in. So we'll have to keep an eye out for them. Like I said, I'm probably just going to ignore the enemies for now and just kind of make my way around. If we come up the right side again and we kind of drop down at the very edge here where there's a hedge missing, we can fight this snail. And before I do that, I'm going to change my costumes. Just to make my life a little easier. Remembering, of course, to keep your candy corn costume on if you're fighting in this area, if you still have not voided the achievement for keeping candy corn in for all battles. I feel like the longer you play this game, the easier the fights get, so candy corn is more of a disadvantage in the beginning of the game. It's not so bad later on in the game just because you have so many different costumes and treat cards at your disposal, and you can also use the counter attack. And the upgrades on costumes like the Wizard, the Superhero, and Jefferson just make them much, much more powerful, and without using any cards or special abilities, a lot of these fights are really no problem to us anymore. So in this chest here we have a pair of scissors, which is one of the pieces for our costume. We can take the ramp back, and we now only need to find one more piece. So if we kind of go back to the right side here, we might as well use our clown costume just for the sake of nostalgia to move those birds to get ourselves a creepy treat card. There is a child hiding here. And now we'll just kind of make our way over towards the left side of the complex. Let's switch to the pterodactyl and clear out this pile of leaves, which is going to give us our final piece of material for our ghost costume. So this is a pretty neat costume. I don't really like to use it in battle. I find its battle technique is not really all that useful, but out in the open it makes you totally invisible. So this allows you to sneak past certain obstacles, and it also makes you completely invisible towards enemies. So if we want to just try this out, for example, you can see that I can walk right up to these enemies and I can actually touch them. I am physically touching and pushing myself against this Trobog, and absolutely nothing happens. So this is really, really useful for this stage of the game. If you have reached level 10 and you've gotten all your creepy treat cards and you've used all your costumes in battle and you've kind of just done everything that there is to do and you no longer want to fight, you could just go around with the ghost costume and sneak around everything that you don't want to deal with, which is really, really nice. So I think that's it for this garden area. The reason I'm coming back over to the right side is because I want to go right down to the end of the road here and talk to this kid, who's another one of our hide-and-seek children. And there is an open shutter here. So if we climb up this ramp, we can go into the back part of the research lab, where we can find ourselves another kid. Now it's completely up to you whether you want to enter from this area or whether you want to enter from this door here and make your way across the rooftops. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to clear out all of the secrets in this area for now. Bye-bye, dental drone. I don't want to deal with you. It makes you a little slower, you don't move as fast, but that's okay. So this is a big, long walkway. The only thing really is the pinata on that and the hide and go seek child. And then as you make your way towards the other side, don't go down that staircase. That's just the way up. But if you continue on this way to a dead end, you can drop down and open this chest, which will have another unique card in it, the Flingalings. And then we can drop back down, and this brings us back into the street. So this is where I was testing out the ghost costume on the Trobog, and what we need to do is use our ghost costume to sneak back into the security compound and save Everett and Lucy. But I have one more child to find, so I'm going to do that first. Most of these buildings are locked, the private residence, the top secret warehouse, all of that type of stuff. You can't get into any of it. But there's lots of stray candy around, lots and lots of chests in this area, a few pinatas. There's also a mole here that's going to attack us, so we might as well fight him, get him out of the way, test out our ghost costume. So it looks like I actually have the ghost's ability available, so why don't we use it just to show what it's all about. You can see that the ghost is strong against monsters and has a weakness against magic type enemies. So its ability is called Morning Coffee, and just for fun, let's use it on Ren here. And you can see there now that Ren is pretty much invisible. And that is actually a similar ability to a costume that we had in the first Costume Quest game, the Ninja. Now the Ninja made it so that enemies couldn't see you at all and attack you. But I'm going to have to actually read on how this works, because as we just saw, the mole still attacked us even though we used that ability on Ren, which is a little bit strange. I generally only use the ghost for this area, and then I swap it out pretty much as soon as possible. It's one of my least favorite costumes. There's our Smoochies card. That should be the duplicate that we can bring to that child who is looking for it. And speaking of child, here is our final hide-and-seek kid that we can get at this time, hiding in the garden just beside the private residence. So with that done, I'm going to just sneak back down to the fountain. I'm going to turn in that card to that kid, and then we can pretty much head on over to the compound at any time to go and save Lucy and Everett. So there's our card from that kid. Let's go ahead and rest up. And let's go to the costumes tab and read up a little bit more on our ghost costume. So it looks like I was half right. It does make your party member invisible, or so it says here, but it doesn't make them completely invisible. I guess what it does is it basically just acts as a sort of extra layer of defense, which again is okay, but at this point this game is really very easy overall, and there's not a lot of opportunities I can think of where this would actually come in hand, because even boss battles, if you have the right costumes, you shouldn't really need these types of buffs. So like I said, not one of my favorite costumes. I rarely use it at all, but at least we have seen it in action, and we will need to keep it equipped just for a short little while longer. And I haven't gone over our creepy treat cards in a while. As you can see, by this point in the game, just by making natural progression and by fighting enemies and trading cards in, we have made some really, really good progress here. Some of these I'm missing because I haven't purchased them from Shady, and some of them are from fighting some more battles that I've skipped out on in the dental compound. But we should be able to get all of our creepy treat cards very, very soon. So if you've been diligent in getting them, you should only have a few missing. I'm pretty happy with our cards though. I haven't really needed them, honestly. But I might swap a few of my cards out to get some additional experience and also some additional candy if I need it. So I might take this opportunity to grind a little bit off screen, get myself some additional candy, maybe buy some things I'm missing from Shady, maybe some upgrades, and then we will return and we will go and rescue Lucy and Everett. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.